Natasha.
Debbie.
Show.
The show.
Welcome to it. Just two patriotic girls.
Learning about the world.
So please, don't take us the wrong way. All right, since it's a rude video, say something rude. Or do something rude. Go ahead.
Wanker. That was rude.
That's not what I expected.
Surprise. Hi, and welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show.
That's my beautiful wife, who has the cleanest mouth on planet Earth.
Typically, but I do kind of
She does
that
typically.
phrase.
No, you don't. She deceives you, YouTube.
There's occasions I have.
Yeah, anytime we're not on YouTube.
Don't tell secrets.
People on Facebook Live know. People on Patreon know.
They might know a little bit more, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Potty mouth over here. If you guys like our show, our content, please hit that like button. It takes a fraction of a second to do so.
and also consider subscribing to our channel. It's absolutely free to do so.
Okay, so this is going to be a fun video. We're really excited about this. And before we get into it, in the description of our video here, we have a link to today's video, the original video. And that's by Be Here Now. And that's our friend Ollie, who is super nice, super cool. We would ask kindly that you please go visit his channel and subscribe. You're going to want to after this episode anyway, I'm pretty sure. But he's got a lot of history videos and things, and he's a nice guy. So for that sake only, right at this moment at least, until the end of this, you're going to want to run over there. Please go give him a subscribe, a like, a hi from the Natasha and Debbie show. We are counting on you to do that. So today's video is the rude tour of Britain.
So we're going to get to hear some rude place names.
We've heard a couple.
A few. And today we're going to hear some more.
Are we going to hear all of them? No.
Probably not.
No. And is everyone going to tell us that? Yes. So I'm sure in the comments you'll probably want to tell us more, but don't do that because there are other videos on the topic that we may want to do. So if you give out too many of them, then we'll be like, oh, no, we can't do the other video.
No, I've heard them all.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that just yet.
No. So it's up to you if you want to. You can, but there just won't be a part 2. But yeah, so we're going to check out the rude tour of Britain. I don't know what to expect at all. Do you?
I have no idea what to expect. I couldn't imagine too many rude place names, but
I don't know.
I'm sure I will get surprised.
Will we get all of them? Will some of them go over the American head?
We'll find out.
Let's find out right now together.
I'm standing on top of a mountain in Wales called Fanny Big. The Fanny Big. It's going to be a long video. I'm standing on top of a mountain in Wales called Fanny Big, which I think we can all agree.
Oh, I didn't. Sorry, Ollie. I thought you were saying funny.
Oh, I heard Fanny the whole time. A Fanny Big.
Don't say that word.
What?
Not unless you're wearing your fanny pack.
It's the name of it.
We call it a bum bag now. We don't call it anything actually because we don't wear one, but I didn't hear him say that. Now, okay. Sorry.
A mountain in Wales called Fanny Big, which I think we can all agree is absolutely hilarious. But it's not the only silly place name within these great British Isles. In fact, there's hundreds of them, literally. And what I'm going to do in this video is something a little bit silly myself. I'm going to visit some of the very best from the bottom of the country to the very, very top.
I like it.
All in one trip. So first, a parental warning. Of course, this video contains a lot of rude words, most of which I can't actually say out loud for fear of being punished by the YouTube gods. But if you've got kids in the room,
she didn't mind.
Maybe don't. And secondly, I'm not going to be visiting every single silly place name within Britain because I've got better things to do in my life. But I have them on a criteria of how much they make me smile or frown. But if you do know any more that
I like the honesty,
please let me know in the comments.
I just want to really quickly say when I emailed him originally about doing the video, he's like, I've just been watching your stuff. So it's super cool. Like,
that's awesome.
I love it. I love it. I love his personality so far.
Yes, hello and welcome to Britain, the land of Shakespeare, Burns, Coward, Bronte and Thomas. A land whose language has gone on to dominate the world, yet a land of stark contradictions. We love a bit of smut, a bit of innuendo, and the occasional double entendre. And not all of it is very subtle.
What is that?
We've got a lot of silly place names, many of them just utterly bizarre. But many of them actually quite a little less innocent than that. So I've set off on a journey from the very south coast to the very north coast to visit some of the rudest, crudest, and downright silliest place names this country has to offer. It's a journey of 1,300 miles and 18 individual places, taking in narrow country lanes, long busy motorways, bright sunshine, lashing rain, incredibly distracting rainbows. Rainbow! And lots and lots of sitting in traffic. Traffic. Now, I'm not going to include many street names because there just are so many, but actual settlements, hamlets, villages, hills, and in some cases, whole towns. That's going to make this whole thing a hell of a lot more challenging.
My inner 12-year-old's going to love this.
So join me, the thinking man's northern monkey, for what promises to be quite the adventure.
We have the same type of humor, he and I.
Yep.
Shitterton!
So after Fanny Big, this is my first proper start to the journey.
That's a place.
And you can see already.
It's a place.
Street name there, Sitterton. Seems to have bottled it there, don't they?
Actually,
Although I can't blame them. Imagine having your street address and the village you live in. Both that word. Yeah, I don't blame them.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's beautiful. This is in Shitterton?
I know. Shitterton
Yeah, very
isn't
pretty
that
village. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know what you can expect from a place named like this.
It's pretty gorgeous.
Worth a little stopover.
Do you get a discount because of the name?
Corner,
right?
like that they've
Pooh Corner.
That's hilarious. Pooh Corner in Shitterton.
I want to live there.
Well, I'll meet up there.
Yeah, you'll find us at Pooh Corner in Shitterton. I'll be sitting right there.
Oh, it's too funny.
To it. But anyway, yeah, very pretty village. Let's move on. Next up were two places that were almost impossible to find, especially in the rain. The sad little Droop Farm, which had just one tiny sign outside, and the completely unmarked Ass Hill. A short country lane that led down to a farm and didn't even have the courtesy of a signpost for me to pose next to.
That sucks.
So after the sneaky shenanigans at the first place and two very disappointing visits to places
Can't say it, he won't say the word.
What I really wanted was to actually find somewhere that embraced their name wholeheartedly. And then I found one.
Cocking!
A cock in Old English is a male bird, and the fact that it's also used as a way to describe genitalia is an unfortunate association for all domestic fowl involved. But cocking in West Sussex isn't even named after the bird, but according to the Cocking Parish Council website, it's named after Cocker, a Saxon warlord. The Domesday Book calls it Cockingis, the word ing meaning people. So the village evolved the name to mean cock as people.
Okay.
So, not the thing you're imagining.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, but it is.
Next was a
I'm still
flying
imagining
visit to the first on my list that didn't necessarily make me giggle like a naughty little schoolboy, but actually
Donkey
frown
Town.
at a level of confusion that can only be described as quite mild. Donkey Town is a neighbourhood to the western end of somewhere called West End, which, confusingly, is the west end of nothing very much. Donkey Town is a part of West End that was given to the housing of poor labourers working in the area at the start of the 19th century. Poor men, many of them soldiers from the Napoleonic Wars, lived here with their families in a level of poverty that stood out significantly enough that the place was labelled Donkey Town. Probably as a reference to them not being able to afford horses. Or possibly just as a cruel bit of name-calling by the local people.
Aw,
Still,
rename it.
pretty funny.
Rename it to Funky Town.
I then head eastward, swishing around the south of the M25 and spaffing off into the Essex village of, well, you can see it there for yourself. Okay, so here finally, in one of the
That's
best
not
named
real.
places
That's real? That's
on
real?
my entire list. It's this place. Let's go have a look around.
It's real.
I can't believe that's a real place
It's
name.
real.
So it looks like yet another little village consisting of mostly one road. But yeah, it's very pretty. Some nice houses. Nice pub over there.
It's a one-road town. Easy in and easy out.
Debbie!
And you can see the name. They're not ashamed to use the name, which is good. Although it's kind of a comical name, and it's kind of posh around here. I'm not sure how posh people feel about it.
It is posh.
It's quite a crude name, isn't it, when you think about it? But it is one of them historical quirks, because the name, historically, has got a fantastic meaning. Marooned in the salt marshes of Essex,
the name does have a
once
fantastic meaning.
been a small Roman port.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why did I pause it? Nope,
Serving
continue.
the nearby town of Colchester. The name is quite benign. Finger simply describes the shape of the land, and Ho refers to it jutting out into the water. That might not be so obvious these days because of the shifting sands of time, but go back far enough and that description was probably more accurate. It's kind of what you'd imagine a stereotypical English village would look like. It's got a little village
It's very
pond,
pretty.
It's beautiful.
a church, got one pub. There's a red telephone box over there as well.
What's
So
the pub called?
it is kind of just one street. So a very small place. Kind of cute. Look at the size of that tree.
Big tree.
Huge.
So I wonder how people actually who live here and all these places I'm visiting actually feel about their name.
Yeah, I would
Because-
like to know.
It's quite a nice name and it's an ancient name, and this one has, you know, a proper meaning to it. It's quite a nice meaning. It's just unfortunate that it has a bit of a crude sound, let's say. Yeah, I suppose
No,
There's a
it's
club.
not.
There's a
Stop
club.
it. The
sound,
sign is
let's
no,
say.
no, 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 no. I've always wanted to join a club.
Is this a club you're joining?
I didn't say that.
Do you meet Tuesday nights at 7?
That was very specific, Debbie. Very specific. Something you doing I don't know about?
No, I'm just.
You're never here Tuesday nights at 7, actually. Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah. What is that? She looked at me like, yeah, what's that about? Sorry, this microphone's driving me nuts.
Mm,
Okay.
not shut. Interesting.
I wonder if anyone here lives in any of these places.
If you do, please.
And I'm sorry,
now.
we're not trying to be jerks. It's just that we are, apparently. I can't not laugh.
They're just funny words. That's
It's
all.
just, okay.
but yeah, I suppose if you can just embrace that, find the funny side of it, and try not to think about it too much.
What's happening here?
So this is, I
just
suppose, the
randomly
village
put that-
green. Very small little
It's like,
nice
I don't know
oak
what's
tree.
going on. Either.
And of course, the sign. Here we go. Welcome to Finn. My odyssey now took me northwards, that is to say, into East Anglia. Next on the list was another lane, this one bearing this name. But like this hill beared nothing else, not even a street sign.
No street sign?
Sluts Hole Lane is possibly the result of an administration error sometime before the Victorian era.
That could
The
be.
first bit possibly started out as slutch, which is an old word for mud.
What's going on, bro? What you doing? What you doing?
I'm just trying to put my waterproof pants on. Why? Because the day has turned. It started off beautiful and sunny this morning, and now, as you can hear and see, it's rain. I'm in
Pissing it
Norfolk.
down, right?
The next place, yes,
I think I
North
got it right.
Norfolk. The next place I want to visit on the list, and I need to get out and get a very quick shot of the signpost and then get back in the van. But to do that, I've got to put my waterproof pants on. So yeah, it better be a good sign, this. Right, here's the sign in the village green. Great snoring.
Debbie, that's where you're from.
Great Snoring is not only a place name I can actually say without fear of retribution, but another quaint English village named after somebody who ran the land here prior to the Doomsday Book. A Saxon by the name of Snar, or Sneer. And alright, it's not exactly a rude place name, but it's funny. And funny is good
is
enough
funny.
reason to visit anywhere
I
in my
like it.
experience. The road now took me westward, and as the weather changed again, I was clearly missing something from my life. I'm just having a break, just north of Great Snoring, admiring the non-view. So yeah, this is North Norfolk, and like the rest of East Anglia, it's just flat. Where are the hills? Most of the view actually when you're driving through East Anglia is just hedgerows. But the view, the distance you can see at any given point is about a mile and a half, and that's it. There's just no vantage point you can see. Where are the hills? It's been a long day of driving.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Canal boats.
Although I was now leaving East Anglia behind and crossing the fens. Fen. Thank you. Before bravely exploring into Lincolnshire. Stopping the night at a unique and quirky campsite was a welcome relief from all of the driving of the previous day. And with the sun rising fast and a clear blue sky, I was refreshed, kind of, and ready to hit the road again.
I need to understand.
So here's one I didn't plan on visiting. This is just something I've just happened to pass through. I had to stop and take a look at this. So this is Anton's gout. So, yeah, I don't know who Anton was, but I do feel very sorry for him.
He had gout. He needs some tart cherry juice.
Yeah, lovely morning, beautiful and sunny. Nice place to stay last night. Yeah, very quirky, very cool, very hippie, very me on brand. And a spontaneous visit to somewhere called Anton's Gout, which I just spotted on the way, which what makes this journey so wonderful is that you just can spot things and go, yes, that'll do. But yeah, a lot of driving today, so I'm heading north, and all the places I'm planning to visit are quite spread out, so it's going to be a lot of driving today. I've already done over 500, nearly 600 miles since Fanny Big. So yeah, I'm doing all right with the driving though. It's not getting to me yet. Today might be the day. This is my morning face, by the way. I don't know if you can tell. I'm very tired. And it's a lot earlier than it looks. But anyway, let's hit the road.
I love going on trips like that where you have a destination, but you don't have like a time constraint, so you can kind of venture off and see what else is around there. That's always fun to do.
We need to do that again very, very, very soon.
Let's do it.
Right, so you all know that there's a Boston in Lincolnshire, right? After which Boston in America is named. Well, did you also know there's a New York not 10 miles from Boston? So yeah, everybody, welcome to New York. I didn't think I'd be visiting New York on this trip, but there you go. And a very pretty place too. Not very many skyscrapers, but a lot of flat farmland.
Thank goodness.
And a few houses. And quite a busy road.
A lot of places
the straightest road I've been on in ages. Quick potted history of these two spontaneous visits then, because I know you'll be curious. A gout is an old term for a water diversion, like a pipe or a flood trench, which would have been very common around these parts when the fens were being drained and the land claimed by agriculture. And while New York in the New World is named after the Duke of York, New York in the Old World is named after a city in Yorkshire, which is a different county altogether and doesn't seem to appear on maps until after New York in the New World was established, making this a newer New York. And speaking of Yorkshire, I now headed westwards into that county to the delightful village of Penistone.
Oh,
Penistone stands out because it's actually quite big compared to the
other
other
places
places on my list. It's a small market town just outside Barnsley with a rich industrial history.
Oh, I'm not eating those fish and chips, sorry.
Connecting the northern powerhouses of Manchester
not eating those fish and
and
chips.
Sheffield. Its name comes from the word Penistone, probably named after the ridge nearby called Penning. Pen meaning hill, ton meaning farmstead. Pretty harmless then. At this point, I could have spent all day bounding around the various dodgy Yorkshire place names, but stuck with just up.
Wait, no. Look at these places.
Crackpot.
Kinky Overblow. Long Tongue Scrog Lane. What the heck, England?
Sex How.
Is that a question? Ticklecock Bridge. Yeah, you know, meet me over at the Ticklecock Bridge. I don't know. I'm not saying the next one, really. Oh my gosh. Gosh.
Oh, these are funny.
Okay.
These are
lower thong,
that
nether
they
thong.
haven't changed the names from these. If they're
well, they're adults, Debbie, and we're not. So
this is true. This is true.
Sex How. 69 Sex How Avenue.
That'll be it, Natasha.
You just totally missed that, didn't you?
I did not. Natasha, 6969 Sex How.
Oh, this just got weird. Okay, we're gonna get in trouble.
At this point, I could have spent all day bounding around the various dodgy Yorkshire place names, but stuck with just Upper Thong, a tiny hamlet on top of a steep hill. Although I could have easily gone to one of its rival hamlets, Lower Thong and Nether Thong. Both hilarious. Luckily, there was a sunny game of cricket to drop in on. But all this had brought me dangerously close to where I live, in
Dangerously
Manchester,
close.
so at this point I turned northeast again and
Nice,
powered
from
towards
Manchester.
the famous Wet Wang.
Okay. And of course there's a pond.
Yep, well, there has to be.
I mean, it's wet.
Back in Yorkshire, the sun is shining, the skies are bluing, and the place names keep on a-coming. Here we are in Wet Wang. What a name. Right, good place to stop. Let's have a look around this place, shall we?
I love that he's showing us the places and not just saying the names of it.
Let's go.
And then he
Check
gets some
that out.
history on it.
Yeah, you can go and look at, I'm sure I know there are other videos that have just the names, but he's taking us to the places. We're seeing it. He took all the time to do this, put all this effort in, and that's awesome.
And I see it, and then the history as to why it's probably named that.
Right, here we are. Here's the village hall, the community hall. Wet
Oh, the Wet Wang Community Hall.
Quite new as well. Yeah, that's about it really. Once again, we can only turn to the Doomsday Book to confirm that the Wet Wang that existed in 1086 was substantial enough to be noted by the writers. The source of its name isn't clear, but the prevailing hypothesis is that it came from the Norse Vettvanga, meaning a place of legal action. Today it sits on a busy crossroads, but like many of the other places I visited, it mainly consists of one road with a surprisingly low number of shops.
Is it because of the names?
Wang isn't used widely enough in British English as a synonym for, well, you know what. So the village embraces the name.
It's the
a quick
same
stop in a
over
part
here.
of Durham called Pity Me.
Pity
was an
Me?
easy bag on that one afterwards.
I
Although
love
it did
there.
feel like it was summing up my mood, as the day turned grayer and the road ahead showed no signs of ending.
That still kind of throws me off.
Yeah, the
On
bike
other side, I was
system.
like, whoa.
Oh, we've seen this before. A long time ago.
At this point, I've done quite a lot of driving, and it's just starting to get to me a little bit. I knew there'd be a lot of driving involved, of course, that's the whole point, but I don't think I realised like how much of time it would take. Like it pretty much takes my entire day between the bobbing and the weaving on the A roads and the B roads.
That's what we do.
It's kind of
here,
exhausting.
Yep.
So yeah, but anyway, we're getting there now. We're about halfway, I think. So just got to dig deep and enjoy the ride, enjoy the funny places coming up. But they are very spread out now. But there is something I'm going to miss, unfortunately, on the way.
Just randomly started.
And that's the
eating
town of
something.
Cockermouth over in Cumbria, which is by far the greatest named anything
There's
in Britain.
Yep.
Cockermouth. It's
Cockermouth.
amazing. But it's just too far off my route. It's such a big diversion from this side of the country over to the other side. I can't justify it. So, no Cockermouth. My lamentation.
Correct. I agree with you, Ollie. No cockermouth.
exactly. No cockermouth.
There is no cockermouth on the
No.
Natasha and Debbie show today, or any day.
No, there won't be.
There will never be a cockermouth on the show.
There will not. Sorry to disappoint you. It's not happening.
I have to say this about Ollie so far. I don't know if you'll agree. I'm curious. And be honest. I have never, if any and all videos we've reacted to, never felt so like dude's like my brother from another mother.
Yeah, like you could actually go and hang out with him.
I feel like he gets he and I have like the same type of humor. Like he seems like someone I would totally like, I don't know, like could just start talking to, and it's like would never stop talking to.
Exactly.
Like just feels like a family member.
Yeah, he seems extremely friendly.
I love this dude. Cockermouth.
So, no Cockermouth. My lamentation for Cockermouth intensified as I pressed on, making a quick visit to Wide Open near Newcastle a welcome distraction. Although by this point I was seeing crazy place names seemingly everywhere. My mission to hunt down signposts of rude words like a giant game of Pokemon had led me to reflect on things. Not just in an existential crisis kind of way, which I was, but also on what makes a rude word. Most cultures around the world have swear words, particular remarks uttered when you stub your toe on the coffee table, or you want to insult someone, from anything from a mild to an extreme degree. But this being an island with a rich history in immigration, the English language not only contains a lot of swear words, but also a lot from a variety of different origins. The Romans brought many things to British culture, not least about 800 dirty words. Modern English, by comparison, has about 60 swear words at best. And that's when you include mild ones, like boobs. The Anglo-Saxons gave us the...
So quiet.
I love it. You see how small the font was? I was like sort of going, what, watermelon's a bad word in the UK? If it is, I didn't know. Oh, man.
Include mild ones, like boobs.
It was...
The Anglo-Saxons gave us the words tits, fart, and shit. And f*** came from either French, German, or Latin.
Really?
And some words that are today quite offensive were not always so bad. Cunt was one, and used even by Chaucer, who dropped it into Canterbury Tales a few times without worry. There was even an alley in the city of London by the name of Groat Cunt Lane.
Really?
There was more than one. In fact, many towns and cities up and down England had their own version of Groat Cunt Lane because of the association with prostitution. And these weren't alleyways hidden on the edge of town, but usually quite central and close to where men might want to solicit such services conveniently, such as near docksides and marketplaces. Many such streets still exist and have simply changed their name, like Oxford's Magpie Lane. Like many other words, such as piss, a lot of these... Like many other words, such as piss, a lot of these commonly used words only started to become indecent in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. The word cock was at one time used as a euphemism for God, as well as for the penis, leading to this wonderful pun in Hamlet by Ophelia. Young men will do it if they come to it. By cock they are to blame. England went through a phase in the 19th century of extreme prudishness, where even words such as stomach, bull, and stallion were considered too fiendish for delicate sensibilities.
Really?
The frankly meaningless word bloody is still considered rude to say in England even today.
You're not here.
Making it a victim of people clinging to tradition to an embarrassing degree. And if this road trip around Britain has taught me anything, it's that rude words don't just depend on the intention of the person saying them for them to be offensive, but also on the person at the receiving end being intent on being offended.
Oh, that's a good point. Very well said.
What one person finds funny, another person won't.
Very true.
Except Cockermouth. That's just pure gold.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Hello, Scotland.
So, after
Beautiful.
entering Scotland, accompanied by some obligatory drone shots of the landscape,
Thank
and
you.
of an ancient stone wall, which may or not be a plug for my last video, I headed onwards, conscious of time.
Whoa.
Beautiful.
Scotland!
It just feels like home.
Now, I know I said I wasn't going to do very many streets or lanes on this trip because there's just so many of them. And the two down south that I've already done were pretty much non-events. Well, the reason I've come to this one here isn't just because of the hilarious name, but because it has two dimensions to it. And the second dimension is best appreciated from up there.
What?
Yep, this
What?
is a short crescent-shaped street on this grey Pebble Dash estate, which on a sunny day like today seems perfectly benign and even quite harmless.
Where are we going with
But
this?
take a look at the map and you'll see it sits at the end of a rather suspect bit of street design, which leads me to believe that somebody in the planning process when this estate was being built must have known what they were doing, right? From here it was time to enter the Highlands, and a long and spectacular road unfolded before me, with just two places left to visit on my list,
Aw,
both a
I'm
long,
sad.
long way away. Still, I passed the 1,000-mile mark and had time for another reflection. Just past the 1,000-mile mark. Quite a milestone, as you can imagine. Yeah, and fatigue is setting in. And I know this is YouTube, and I'm supposed to be like, oh, this is amazing, this is so fantastic, you should do it. It's not. It's really not. It's really
That's
Yeah,
tedious
it's
driving.
quite boring.
I love the honesty.
And half the places I've visited, there's nothing there to see. So, yeah, it's just a lot of driving and a lot of signposts. But anyway, we're there now. We've got to go north.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
Just go stop on the side of the road, eat my banana.
Eat my banana. And then just say, hey, yeah, this sucks. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's perfect. Love your video.
Love your video,
This
sir.
is great.
You're a rock star. Please subscribe to his channel. I'll be so sad if you guys don't. This is better than any stand-up comedy or anything like that. This is the kind of stuff that makes me happy and smile and laugh.
Because it's real and it's honest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm enough. I need some proper food.
Don't go to that one fish and chips place though.
Oh, hi, Dougie.
Not a bad place to spend the night.
That's
A
beautiful.
peaceful night in the Cairngorms settled my soul a little bit, and bright sunshine the next morning on the Dornoch Firth saw me divert inland towards my penultimate destination, the tiny village of Bona Bridge. Now you might think this place sprang up when someone put a bridge here, but this narrow stretch of water has seen its fair share of historical action through pre-Roman times, Norse invasions, and even a Jacobite rebellion. The name Bona can be literally translated from Scottish Gaelic into English as Fair Ford. And not anything to do with anything erected around here to cross the water of Trevor.
Nice play on words there, sir.
Boner. Finally, there was only one place left to visit for me
He said,
on this great
boner.
rude tour of Britain, and involved driving to the very top of the country and catching a ferry, which meant a chance to advance without having to do any driving. Yes, I was now heading to Orkney, a collection of islands just off mainland Britain that are home to an array of wonderful wildlife, fascinating ancient history, and spectacular natural geology. And thanks to its long association with Norsemen from Scandinavia, a lot of its place names are exceptional. But none more so than the great finale to my long, long journey, the crescendo to the masterpiece, the checkered flag waving temptingly at the end of the race.
I'm very intrigued. Oh, okay. I feel like that was a direct.
And there you
No wonder
go
he had
after a
to get
journey
there.
of nearly 1,200 miles or 1,900 kilometres, which has seen us go from one corner of the country right to the absolute other, which has taken in little farm roads and massive motorways, forests and fens, the flatlands of East Anglia, all the way up to the mountains of Scotland. And we've visited such amazingly hilarious places as Shitton, Ass Hill, Finghole,
That's my
Wentland,
favorite.
and Dick Gardens. We finally made it to our destination at last. Twats. And you know what? There isn't even a sign to welcome me.
Oh, that's
In fact,
so
the
not
signs
fair.
Here are telling me how to go somewhere else.
That's not fair.
Well, this is it. What an end. What a finish line.
That sucks. Oh man, the church is fucking bad. Yeah, I'm never
So
gonna
I
think
guess
of it
there's a
as
few
that.
questions to ask after doing something as ridiculous as what I've just done. Was it hard? Yes. Was it worth it?
No.
No.
I knew he'd say no.
But was it funny? Yes, and that's all that matters. So, keep laughing, peace and love, and what a fantastic country we live in.
Sacato, alala, e a lelé provoca até cenas de fuzilado. Alala, e a lelé são duas garotas de desacato. Alala, e a lelé provoca até cenas de fuzilado.
You got a sign.
Right, just a quick note to end this video. I actually come from Manchester, which means I had to drive down to South Wales just to start this 1,200 mile journey to Orkney, which means now I've got to drive all the way back down to Manchester just to go home. And I really do want to go home, but that's halfway down the island. And I'm really sick of driving. I really don't want to do it. But yeah, this is definitely the most amount of effort I've ever put into a YouTube video. But yeah, I could do this.
Why?
Well, that was
awesome. It was awesome.
It was.
I know we've seen a couple like I said, a couple of the place names over there that were a lot more offensive, not offensive, but harsh, more graphic in nature, would you? Than a lot of the ones that he showed. But again, that was hilarious. It was informative. It was beautiful. It was everything. And I absolutely adore him now. I loved that episode. If you guys do too, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing to our channel. Please go to the link in the description of our video. Make your way over to his channel and subscribe to his channel too. I mean, the amount of effort, I would never do that for you guys. I love you. But I'm not driving 1,200 miles one way, then back to do a video. Sorry, not happening. But the fact that he did,
that's amazing. I'm so glad that he took us along to see these places. And he got such good shots of himself with all of his place names.
Yes, and he may not think it was worth it, but I can tell you, sir, it was worth it for all of us. I promise you that have watched it. It was really worth it. It was great. You should have your own TV show.
You should. I hope you're doing a lot more videos.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It was just great. And a lot of those places were freaking gorgeous.
They were absolutely gorgeous. I understand they're smaller towns, and it seemed real, you know, easy to get to, quiet, not a lot going on there. Yeah. Which would make them nice and quaint, but someplace you might want to live. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate you and hope you enjoy this and hope it made you laugh today. I don't see how it couldn't have. So we'll see you on the next episode. Until then, as always, please love, like, jazz. Be as strong as Tyson. Bye, guys.